Good evening everybody and welcome to Apex Racing TV and welcome to Belgium for the latest round of the Simracersworld GT Series. We're here at Zolder for this one and we've got an exciting race coming up, but first qualifying 20 minutes for all the drivers in the gold, silver and bronze class to get their times on the board. Well, welcome everybody. Adam Bath here with Andrew Woodhouse for this one, and we've got Sam Kumo on the cameras, and welcome to Season 3 of the DynamiXX Simracersworld GT Series. We've got, it's 18 degrees here, we've got a track temperature of 23 degrees in Andrew Woodhouse. Zolder, it's pretty narrow, but I think we're going to be expecting a decent race coming up.
Yeah, good evening Adam, good evening everybody. Belgium awaits, and home of many of the drivers in this series of course, and used to be home of the Belgian Grand Prix as well before Spa really wrenched that back and has really kept that ever since. Yeah, we're looking for some tight racing here. I think it's going to be about who makes mistakes here, and not necessarily overtaking. Overtaking is not necessarily going to be plentiful, is it, Adam? It's tight and twisty around here.
Yeah,
oh,
it is.
Dear.
Oh, as someone goes off into the wall, that is
it's Garcia.
Javier Garcia, yeah, in the VRO car. He's currently shown as third on the timing screen, so he'll just fast track back to the pits, and he's going again.
But yeah, the chicanes are difficult. The curbs really rattle the cars. If you get a bad bounce, you can be in trouble. There's grass and gravel alongside the circuit, which does please the racing purists, Adam. And you really can't make a mistake in Zolder because the barriers are also very close to some sections too.
Especially through the second and the third sectors, especially after the first chicane, which we're coming up to now. We're on board with. Looking at here at Ruben Van Boel going into the chicane, currently shown as 9th. The chicane, oh, that's one way of going about it. Misses the first apex, makes sure he absolutely gets the second, and now plunges down the hill towards the Gilles Villeneuve chicane, which got added in not straight after his death, but as a consequence of it. And now through the double right-hander and on towards one of the key overtaking points on the circuit, really down at the hairpin.
Yeah, one of the longer runs actually, and the heaviest braking zone here at Zolder. Van Boel looks pretty nice through there actually. And onto the final chicane, which is very tough really to judge. Here we go then in. Oh, he's just clipped the curve maybe a bit too hard on the first part, just meant he had to hesitate on the second part. Gets a good exit out of the corner and across the start finish line to complete the lap. That's a 1:27.075. That is not an improvement for him, but I'll be honest with you, Adam, he looked like he left a fair bit on the table.
He probably was definitely going for it. I'm sure as into pole position goes Daniel McCauley, 1:25.7. Loving this because this is definitely a BMW Z4 circuit, and the German Mark doing very, very well here in the early going. This qualifying session, a CQR club car, 1/10 of a second quicker than Van Genexen in second place in the Mercedes. So the handling and the composure of the BMW is putting it in good stead here with BMWs 1 and 3 after the opening 8 minutes.
Yeah, we thought it might be a BMW track. It's one of the smallest cars out there, so it is almost by default one of the most agile. McCauley as well as a silver driver, Adam. That's probably the main story here, isn't it? Is really taking it to the gold drivers.
He is. He's leading the silver category as well. As over the line comes the Van Genexen. Is he going to be able to produce a response, or was that an outlap? It looks like it probably was an outlap as he gets onto his next one. We can run you through the championship standings actually. We've got gold, silver and bronze. We can run you through the top 10 in each. We've got Van Genexen leading the way after winning the first 3 races of the season. Then Gregory Vranks in second, Matthias Dertige in third, and then we've got Javier Garcia Rodriguez in fourth, Bart Dalman in fifth, and Chris Moretta in sixth, all 6 of them driving Mercedes. Then we've got Ruben Van Boel in the BMW Z4 in seventh, Bob Boland in seventh, joint seventh with him, and Steve Kleiss in ninth, and Stein Van Boel in 10th. Over into the silver category, we've got Danny McCauley, we were just mentioning him, on provisional pole. He's leading the way there. Then Nick Sherman's in second, Kobe Klaas in third, and Anton Dupin in fourth, fifth Andrew Hopley, and then Arturo Alonso Alvarez sixth, seventh Jeremy Hessels, then Roy Ververke, Ben Mears and Stephen DeWolf in 10th. Interestingly, though, a lot of BMWs in the silver category. And finally, in the bronze, we've got a right mixture here. We've got Bram van Oeven in first, Lee Woodburn in second, Israel Marine in third, Stuart Musselwhite in joint third with him, and then Jochen Lenertz and Dries Mujdi and Pedro Braganca and Luke Thies, Thijs van den Berg and Sinar Kokan in his Audi joined 9th as well. Apologies if he did butcher all those names. Did get sent over the pronunciation video, which was much appreciated.
Yeah, whoever did that, thank you very much, because that's really, really helpful. But as is the case of this is being our first week with it, we just need to remember them all, and we will be checking back at them at some point during the day. But yeah, hopefully we get them all right, and if we don't, well, we're going to keep trying, definitely. Van Oudven then is on the screen at the moment, the gold driver in the bright yellow Mercedes, beautiful colour, and he was very good last week, and in my opinion, Adam, is probably slightly too good for the bronze class. I don't know if that's a controversial point this early on in the season.
Well, if we just look at his championship position, yeah, he's won 2 of the three races we've had this season in that class. So obviously it's a work in it's not a work in progress, but it's the organisers tried to put the drivers in the correct classes. We know it fought all too well in the VSRTC as Ben Alford now comes into the pit lane, but yeah, he is doing pretty well. We'll see if anybody's going to be able to hold on to him as the rest of the season goes on. As you can see from the timing screen, here Van Genexen is now back in pole position again, just over half a tenth quicker than Daniel McCauley is. We are now 9 minutes away from the checkered flag here.
We're just looking at the table actually. If McCauley didn't have a bit of a shocker in round 2 and only pick up 9 points, he'd be well entrenched in the top 5 of the championship. As it is, he sits 6th, 7 points behind the gold driver Chris Moretta, who's in 5th. Yeah, Van Genexen, Franks, De Tige, Rodriguez and Moretta, the top 5. Top 5 in silver: McCauley, Klaas, Hopley, Van Boel and Van Boel. And then in bronze, Van Oudven, Musselwhite, Braganza, sorry, Mujdi, Marin and Braganza. That's the top 5 there.
Which here is the the second place bronze driver, and Dries Mujdi coming into the final chicane. That
would be 3rd place, Adam. Sorry, that would be 3rd place. He's 1 point behind Stuart Musselwhite.
In sectors, is by back at the start of the points.
Okay, sorry about that. It seems like we are again dealing with the Discord issues, and we have currently lost connection to our 2 commentators. But I will try to keep you company while we wait for the audiences to sort themselves out. So we still got about 6.5 minutes remaining on this qualify, and Van Genexen is still on the first place. Let's see, do we have anyone on the fast lap? Van Buel is doing pretty good lap downs here. It's about halfway through the lap. Let's see if he can challenge Van Genexen for the pole position on this lap out. Oh, that is too wide. Gets the off track and has to start all over again. See, who else do we have? Garcia, but that might be an outlap. His sector 2 was pretty fast. That would be his personal best, but we'll see. see, Steve the Wolf is about to finish. Does he improve? No, does not improve this time. Bye. Let's see, we have... Yeah, Garcia is coming through and he has set one personal best on the second sector. Did not quite match his times in the following two sectors, but he's coming across the line and the last sector looks pretty clean, but does not improve. If you give me a moment, I will just try to sort out this audio issue.
Am I back, Sam? Can you hear me?
Am I back as well? I don't know if
I think you are. I can hear you.
Alright, it seems like the audio issues are almost sorted. So I'll hand it over to you guys.
Yeah, we don't really know what happened there, Adam, to be honest.
Yeah, I was just having a look at my Discord there. I was down in the red for a second.
I was alright. It was a bit weird. But we are looking at the last 5 minutes of the qualifying session here at Zolder. Oh, there goes... oh, I'm not sure who that is.
Garcia.
Garcia again. He's gone for a spin. That's 2 spins then. In the space of, well, for the last 15 minutes or so. Is Bob Boland, and we saw that his race just seemed to just go south, didn't it, last week?
Yeah, it didn't go too well for the 26 gold car. See if the CMR Esports can improve this time, though. A few green sectors on this lap, personal best. Over line he goes, does a 26.561. Not an improvement, but a personal best in the third and the final sector means that he's about a second, just still 8 tenths of a second off Van Genexen as we have the final 4 minutes.
See, our 3-letter timing screen tower is not particularly helpful, is it? There's more vans than Salford Van Hire, I think, at the moment. Van Genexen leading the way, then Macaulay, then Van Boel, and then Van Boel. Ruben ahead of Stein. Oh, and he's clobbered the curb. I don't know what's happened. Did he rescue that? I don't know the Mercedes, but we'll see as we're looking at Stephen de Wolf now. The first chicane. That looks smooth, didn't it, through there? That looked good.
Down the hill we go.
Was it fast though, Adam? That's the key, isn't it?
It was a green. Now let's go through the second chicane. Looks pretty good through there. The BMW looking pretty nimble through the slowest part of the circuit. Now plunging down the hill towards the hairpin. It's a 11.9, a 16.5 in sector 3. His time will appear at the bottom of your screen in a moment as he gets closer to the end of the lap, the Dynamo racing car. Purple sector 4 as well, so he's just got to get through the final sector now.
Let's have a look then. Boland goes 8th. And here comes De Wolf. What's he going to do? And across the line for 127.2. Didn't quite improve. Was close. Stein Van Boel goes 4th with 128.0.
Van Genexen's on a very quick lap as well. He put in a purple on his most recent tour. He comes across the line now. Is it an improvement? 25, 6.
Oh, it looks like it. Yeah.
He increases his advantage at the top by, I think, about a few thousandths of a second. I think, maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot, was it? It was very, very marginal gains for Van Genexen, but it certainly was an improvement. That's what we need. Dries Moosdy has moved up into 23rd position. This is car 377. That is Dries Moosdy, in fact, on our screen.
Yeah, currently saying second in the bronze category. 27.61. He put that in its most recent lap.
Jeremy Hessels has gone up to 13th place, and the 4th in the silver class with 127.0. Good for him.
A few other cars putting in lap times. You can see at the bottom now, Arturo Alvarez, 27.5 for him. Hessels, yeah, personal best, 27.0. Stephen de Wolf on his way to the line. So too is Ben Taines. See what he can do as he comes across the line. Privateer, a bit of damage to the front of his Mercedes, does improve with a 27.295, moves up 20th place overall in the silver overall, driving in the silver class for this one.
De Wolf moved up to 13th as well. That was up to 4th there. Ben Taines also has improved up to 20th. Some good lap times coming in here. Kobe Klaas has improved as well, and quickly gets usurped by Moretta. Chris Moretta with 126.5. Detige is on the lap as well. He's nearing the end of it. Here he is, 7th at the moment, 126.34. No personal best, Adam, but could be close.
See what he can do out of the final corner. Personal best is a 126.34. Is he going to improve on that? Comes across the line and does a 126.55, just 0.2 of a second away from improving.
Was close. Somebody off at turn 1 as well. Might be Kobe Klaas. Israel Marin's just done 5 personal bests as well. Where has that put him, I wonder? Not actually sure. Oh, that is Klaas struggling. Or is that just waiting for the or is that just waiting for his outlap to finish? Or no, because that is the checkered flag. The checkered flag has come out. He's got some damage on the right hand side, so on the left hand side, sorry for him. Nando Couto improved slightly, 16th place. And I think, is there anybody else? Oh, Garcia again! Now, without wishing to tempt fate, what's the likelihood of him ending his race in the Armco is getting higher and higher, I think, Adam, as we go along.
Yeah,
I hope not, but you know.
A spin on the exit of the final corner, putting pay to his flying lap. See if Ian Roots is able to improve. Going for the final corner. Car number 6, easing the curves on the exit. Charging towards the line. Been a very good lap. See if it's an improvement. 26.5 was his personal best. He does a 26.6. Doesn't improve there either. So, fortunate for him, he's going to stay in 9.
Yeah, it was another good qualifying though. Pretty close. Definitely at the top. Van Genechten and Macaulay. Just a few hundredths of a second apart. And yeah, going down through the times, and only about 1 second separating 3rd and 14th, and then about another second down to 25th. So it is a close one. Zolder is a tricky circuit though, Adam, and it does require patience, and it requires consistency in the race, because that's where you're going to fall down.
Going to definitely require a lot of concentration as well. Patience, especially for any of the drivers that may be starting slightly out of position. They're going to have to try and work out whereabouts they can get their moves done, because as we've seen there through the qualifying session, there isn't really too many places where you can get them done. The highlights probably be in the first corner and the hairpin at the back section of the lap. If you're clever, you might be able to get a move done into that chicane that we're looking at just there. The grid's up on the screen though, and we can run you through it. It's Van Genechten on the pole position. Danny Macaulay just 56 thousandths of a second behind. And Ruben Van Buell in 3rd, joins on the 2nd row by Stijn Van Buell, with Javier Garcia 5th, 6th for Gregory Vranks, Thijs Detige in 7th, and then Bob Boland in 8th, Ian Roots 9th, and Chris Moretta rounding out a trio of Britons on rows 4 and 5. And Kobe Kleis in 11th, with Roy Verkerk in 12th. Those two in silver cars, and then some more silver drivers here with Stephen DeWolf and Andrew Hopley, Jeremy Hessels and Fernando Couto, and Arturo Alvarez, another Spaniard there in 17th place. Then Mias, Alberto Sainz, and Ben Taines. Then Rod of Moons in 21st, and then the first of the bronze drivers in Bran Van Opven. Dries Mujdi in 23rd overall, then Sergio Souza. And as we get towards the back of the grid, 25th place on the grid, John McConville. And then it is Pedro Bragança and Jochen Lennertz. Stuart Musselwhite in the Simracersworld car is going to line up in 28th place. And then Israel Marine, Luke Tisch, and then it's Thijs Berger in 31st place right at the back.
Yeah, he'll be hoping to come through the field. Pace car does line up at the front of the grid, so as per last week, a rolling start is going to be upon us. Well, it's going to be an exciting one, this. Look at that grid. how many cars we have. We have 31 guys gonna tackle this Zolder circuit, and 31 cars on a track as tight as this. We're very quickly gonna get some traffic. You would think as well for the front runners, and it might not be all very easy traffic to get through as well. It could be battling cars.
We did see that in the race at Monza last week with some of the traffic getting involved there. They all start at once. It's not like what we see in the Ritmotech Sports Car Series where the Ford Mustang and the Mazda class get split apart. Everybody's all in it right from the get-go here, so it's not as long of a run to the first corner as it was at Monza. We had cars pretty much at a standstill getting into the Rettifilio there.
What you do have here, though, is you've got the situation where if the driver blocks the inside line into turn 1, if they don't get a very good start, then the other driver could potentially go outside for turn 1, inside for turns 2 and 3, and have the advantage, so that the person on pole position, Yves van Genegten, really does have to measure this restart perfectly, because if he doesn't, then Macaulay's going to be on him, and we know what that BMW is like.
And we couldn't have really gone to a track which suits the BMW more, really. One car started from the pit lane, that is in the pit lane, I should say, and that's Tej Berger. Don't know if he's acting as steward or...
John McConville looks like he's not there either.
Yeah. I noticed that as well. I don't know whether he's having connection issues or what, but here come the field down to the second chicane. If the car in front doesn't make a mistake going for the first one, he can easily get up the inside, but it is a pretty risky one, and seeing so many times the cars that go up the inside here usually end up resulting in contacts with their opponents going through here. Oh,
I know all about that chicane from the club series. A lot of it. I've done some incidents there, I tell you. But it's tough, isn't it? It's a tough circuit, and it's one that's really going to test the mettle of the drivers. Yves van Genegten, then, when do we think he's going to go, Adam? If I were him, I would probably go just on the exit of the last corner. I don't know, just on the exit. I don't know whether they have to wait in this series. That's one thing. Yeah. I mean, if they do, that helps him as well, because you know it helps him because of the short run. We saw in the last one that kind of went too late, didn't they? But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's like World Touring cars where the race director can choose whether to put the green lights on early or late, but we'll see. Out of the final corner we come then.
Looking like he's having to wait, Van Genegten. So
now the green lights come on. Now the pace begins to build, and round 4 of the Simracersworld GT Series is underway. Look at that. Got very close there between a BMW and a Mercedes for third going into the first corner.
Contact! 2 BMWs piling into each other. That's Van Boel and Macaulay. Oh, and Van Boel's off.
Well,
that's wrecked his race already.
We saw one 7-Up liveried car have a bad start at Belgium. That was Schumacher in 91. This is Van Boel in 2019.
It was about as many corners, according to him, as well, when it went wrong. Now,
yeah, clutch for him. Yeah.
So the 2 class leaders, first and second, Van Genegten gold, Macaulay silver. Here's the chicane. That's going to be the first bottleneck, the first pinch point. Look at Van Genegten. Look at him stretching that advantage out. It's already 1.4 seconds.
Incredible lead after the first sector. Danny Macaulay is trying everything to keep up with him. This is a battle here for the bronze lead in the early going. Oh, and there's a crash. That's Ben Mears that's gone off.
Mears, yeah. Oh, and that's not Garcia, is it?
It's the other Spaniard.
Oh, no, it's not Garcia. It's the same livery, isn't it? Oh, and he's getting hit on the bomb by a Mercedes.
Sergio Braganca, it could be, in the Spirit Sim racing car. Looking here at Alberto Jimenez Sainz.
Yeah, Sainz in the 258 car. VRO machine, BMW. So he should have a good race car here. Over the hour. Van Genegten, unsurprisingly, sets the fastest lap, first one that we've seen. That is stating the bleeding obvious, but that is, but it was a very fast lap, very fast opening lap from Van Genegten. 1.5 seconds ahead of Dan Macaulay. Macaulay wasn't helped by that first couple of corners, though, was he really? But this is Roy Verweke having a look at De Wolf. The Automatic Knock-Hill car. Maybe invoke a bit of that Scottish spirit here, like, who knows?
Wait and see. No stranger to this team, of course, Roy Verke's raced with them on many occasions in many different championships that we do cover on this channel. And I'm sure he knows this track very well as he tries to hunt down the BMW and the Dynamo racing car. CMR Esports behind as well with Andrew Hopley. So we've got Belgian, and then Britain, I think, in the CMR Esports car in 14th place, right where he started as well.
Oh, Verke, he might have a... Is it a slowdown for Roy? He's under pressure from Hopley. Is he going to defend the inside? Hard to tell. Oh, maybe a bit of help from behind, actually, as well, from the Simortal car. That's Ronald Moons. Oh, Verke! He's nearly lost it, and into the back of him goes Moons. Moons crashing into him, Adam. It almost saved him.
Huh. Well, that could put him pointed him back in the right direction again. BMW has definitely got a... Oh, there's another crash.
Oh, what's that?
That's
Sergio Souza.
And the 217 is that is Sergio Souza. I think he was joined by...
Who's the BMW? Was it Mujdi?
Here's a replay.
Oh, no, I see what's going to happen.
He's coming along, minding his own business. Oh!
Oh dear. And he doesn't get out of the gas either. The Souza just keeps his foot in it. And it doesn't do either of them any favours. Oh dear. Well, that was there were two separate messes going on there, weren't there? There was the one behind, and then... Oh dear, that one. If there's one thing about Zolder though, if there are some accidents, they're usually quite funny ones. Oh, that's not funny, Van Boel. You're losing his connection.
Definitely don't want that to happen. We saw that in round one of the World GT Championship at the Glen.
And I tell you what we also saw, I think after you'd gone in the Ricmatech World Challenge the other night, Mike Dam's internet connection went when he was leading the race. Oh,
he had a similar internet issues this week. Plus, we had a huge crash at the start, which caused a full course virtual safety car as well. So,
well, he had a terrible internet supplier until he fired them.
Oh.
He needs to fire them if he hasn't already. Dear me. Anyway, we digress, but it is awful when you see really great drivers getting derailed by terrible internet connection.
Here's Chris Moretta in the CMR Esports car. He's sat in 88th place. Oh no, he's sat in 8th place. Car 88. Very Murray Walker there.
Oh.
Going through the first chicane. 7/10 of a second of the way from Kobe Kleiss in the Dynamo racing car.
88th place. Oh, Roy Verke is round, and that is yeah, it is the first chicane. He's coming up to Ronald Moons.
Oh,
squeezy, 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 softly, softly, nudgy, nudgy, up the inside. Oh, quarter panel. Oh dear.
What Verke was there?
Oh well, I'm not sure about. It wasn't very good, was it? Roy Verke down to 10th place now.
In class in 28th overall now.
Speaking of class, Kobe Class is in 7th place overall, and he's behind Ruben Van Boel. So class showing his class. Not a good start for the Automatic Knock-Hill there, though, Roy Verke.
No. In fact, if you look at the rest of the team, Ben Mears in 22nd place, and he was having to make a trip through the gravel on the opening lap, so it can get better from now on, I think. As,
have you noticed that most of the incidents so far have involved the BMWs? Do they know how good that car is? Are they pushing too hard? Are they getting a bit eager? Who knows? Fangenecton over the curbs at the second chicane, being pursued by Dan McCauley. It's really interesting, actually, Adam, because Fangenecton set the fastest lap on the previous lap, but McCauley's put in 2 purple sectors.
It's been a good lap.
Ben Taines. Oh, that's a... And, well, the first 4 letters of his name, B-E-N-T, and that is what the Mercedes is as well. It looks like it was bent before that.
See what happened.
Oh! Braking on the grass. Boing. Oh. Hey, mate.
Acting as a launch pad there for Maintains.
Bouncy, 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 but it wasn't fun for him.
No.
Oh, and that's a car rejoining with big damage at the front. Who's that? 20th place. Or car... Oh! He got pushed off the track.
It was Israel getting passed by Dries Mujdi there, going for the final corner. He might try and get him back here as we come across the line. This could be interesting. Bit of damage to the right front of the BMW there.
It's all of it to me. It looks like it's all squished.
Oh, flying in there. Yeah, damage to the front grille as well.
It's a bit shorter than when he turned up at the track with it earlier on. Israel Marin. And there's a tent. And there's Dries Mujdi.
To the right hand, someone's been off there. You can see the gravel, the tracks in the gravel on the exit of turn 3.
There were a few off on lap 1, I think, potentially. Oh, here we go. He's moved. Fernando Couto. The inside of Tice.
That's a textbook move there into the first chicane. Right there by Fernando Couto, up to 23rd place overall, 10th in class for the gold card. It's a bit of a recovery mission for him because aside from Ronald Moons, he is the lowest running gold driver in this race at the moment. And in the championship, looking at where he is, as we go to Stuart Musselwhite in the Sim Racers World car, on board with him here, the Mercedes chasing down Tice.
Tell how I spend my evenings, because gold, silver and bronze, I'm just thinking of Ultimate Team.
Oh.
But and interestingly, there is a story coming out as well over the past couple of days that the Belgian authorities have banned FIFA points. They've absolutely, yeah, they have indeed. They've actually banned them. So that's quite interesting. And but that's the thing about iRacing that I do enjoy. You know, people can't pay any money within the sim to get an advantage. All these cars are the same. The only advantage really that they have is their own skills and their own equipment, which, as Gregor Hutu proved all those years ago, you know, you can have what you would almost class as bad equipment and still be, you know, a pro driver. You can still be a fantastic driver.
A driver with a Driving Force GT has won a Club Series race. And a person with a controller has won a BSR-TC title. Well, a Pro-Am title with Ben Gregory.
There you go. I don't know if Gregory sometimes should have stayed on the controller with some of the things I've seen since then. Anyway, poor Ben. Here we get some stick on this channel. There's Mujdi and Lennartz. Then battling.
I think I won my one Club Series race on a laptop.
Oh, there you go.
Haven't won since. I haven't had a wheel since, I don't think. Going into the...
Was that the laptop where the most of it was coming off?
Oh yeah, the hinges were definitely not helping.
It looks like the back of Jochen Lennartz's car, actually. I wonder if that... and Dries Mujdi is really... He got rid of... well, he's trying to get rid of Marin. And he's right on the back of Lennartz. So I wonder if Lennartz... Yeah, he had a bad lap, 131.5. Mujdi 130.4. So he's really gained on him.
We're looking from the back of Lennartz's car at Dries Mujdi, and I wonder if the pins on the bonnet are just about holding that down. I wonder if that's an iRacing damage feature that we could see in the future.
Oh, that would be great and terrible at the same time.
My eyes, the goggles do nothing. Into the first chicane then. Great run by Dries there. Managed to hit both curbs in perfect harmony there, going down the hill.
It looked like he had the best line, but he almost didn't carry as much speed as what Lennartz did, so he didn't really gain that much. Good run out of the second chicane. I find that this is an area that if your car's set up well, can really flow through the small chicane and then those two right-handers. Then the hairpin. all these BMWs in this little line, and that in front of them is Ben Mears as well, who went through the gravel as he said on the first lap. These guys are running around doing very slow times though compared to the front runner. 26.6 for Van Genekten, 30.4 for Mujdi. It's just come across again, 29.4. That's better from Mearson. 29.5 from Lennartz. So that's a bit more like what you'd expect. But it says a lot for because they do have quite a bit of damage. And it also says what running in traffic does compared to Van Genekten and Macaulay, who are pretty much just on, in clean air.
Well, you can see from the map how the field's all spread out now. The bronze class was heading towards the first chicane. The majority of the silvers are in the second chicane going towards the hairpin, and the gold. Well, if you're here, Van Genekten, you're on your way to completing a lap, but the majority of them are coming into the final chicane now. So there is a decent field spread that's going on, and the majority of the gold cars, like we can see here with Detige and Garcia and Ian Roots, their cars are looking quite decent, really. It seems to be the BMWs a bit lower down the field that have got the damage, as Roots quite a bit there. And Ruben Van Buell, who is just behind him, has put in a new personal best, 27.2, 2 tenths per second quicker than him. So 48 Van Buell racing car could be starting to put the pressure on now as we approach the quarter-hour mark of this race.
Well, Ian Roots is damning on this. No wonder he's doing so well.
Oh.
And yeah, no, he'll be delighted that he's up there again in the top 5. And I tell you what, Javier Garcia, we saw him spin 3 times in practice and qualifying. I know it's not really much of an indicator on the sim because you really are going for the fastest times possible. And that's Israel Marin stopped at the side of the track. And I wonder what's gone on there.
Here. I think it's, yeah, I mean,
broken suspension?
Yeah. Be the case. Well,
yeah, maybe.
The curb.
Can we go further back and can we go in like maybe 10 or 15 seconds further back and just see if he's done anything to the car before that?
Go, we're winding the tapes back.
Hard to see from that angle. I mean, he's holding the wheel straight. It doesn't look like it's actually broken. He might have just had enough of that.
Huh.
He did have quite a lot of damage though, Adam. I mean, it wouldn't have been that pleasant to be driving around with all that.
Wouldn't have been too much. Well, look at that the back of the BMW there of Jochen Lennartz. That BMW is starting to get quite a lot of damage as well. We were looking at this battle just a moment ago, and the familiar face of Reece Mujdi continues to stare at the gearbox of that very heavily damaged BMW Z4 as they come across the line now. This is a battle for second and third in class as well, with Fernando Couto still mounting a comeback. He's right behind these guys, half a second away, and then Ben Taines in the silver car in 22nd place overall as Mujdi misses. It's just a bit there going through turn 2, but now we've got the run through turn 3 and the 90-degree right-hander at turn 4 coming up now.
I do think though, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, that he's going to have to wait for a mistake from Lennartz, because it's just not easy to manufacture an overtaking move here. Oh, Couto sliding the back of the car. Now he's a gold driver, Fernando Couto. Best lap time of the race though, it's pretty much exactly the same as what these guys have been doing.
Look how much time he gained.
Probably because of the damage.
Yeah, you can see from the front right of this onboard camera how damaged the Mercedes is. Doesn't seem to be putting him off too much though, and he's really closed in on Mujdi here, so much so that the bronze driver.
Oh, he's going for it. He's not going to make it, surely. Oh, and he does collide with Mujdi, I think. Or did Mujdi get out of the way in time to avoid him? I do not know, but he was sending that, wasn't he, Fernando Couto? There was no doubt about that. Let's see the replay. Here we go, Adam.
Stand the dummy, look left, go right, up the inside, and Mujdi.
Oh!
He hits the side of the door. Don't know if that door will open after he gets to the checkered flag, but either way, it doesn't matter. Roy Vergate into the pits. We're 16 minutes into it. Might be too early for a fuel stop, but we'll see anyway. It's a mandatory stop nonetheless. And Verke now trundling down the pit lane. A very narrow pit lane, that must be said. And we'll see. Time will tell if this is a scheduled stop.
I'll be honest though, if I was Dries Moosday, I might not be too happy with that, to be fair. Came from a long way back, didn't really look like he was... I mean, he wasn't out of control because the anti-lock brakes mean that you're never going to be out of control, but he... I don't know, he was never going to make the apex, was he? And I think that was the problem.
Looking here at the leader of the bronze category, this is where Dries Moosday would have liked to have ended up. This is Bram van Alphen in the Mercedes, the Dayglow coloured Mercedes.
He's doing a great job on the track map. You can see just how far ahead of the rest of the bronze class he is.
And he's mixing it with bronze and gold contenders. Just off into the pit lane goes, I think that was Jimenez.
Science,
Yeah.
I think. Oh yeah, Alberto Jimenez Science. Into the pit lane then, and a couple of little chicanes in the pit entry just to, you know, just to make things a bit more difficult. How many obstacles do you need in one pit lane, Zolder? Come on.
And then back in the day before I think they introduced the rules, this is the point where if it was a multi-driver event, they'd be frantically trying to undo their belts whilst they're trying to steer the car through those obstacles there.
Oh dear.
Now, in the Blancpain series, you can't undo your belts until you actually got to your pit box.
Well, and so you shouldn't be able to as well. Health and safety and all that. Now, Hessel's in the middle of this group with Stein, Van Boel and Moretta. And at the back is Gregory Vranks. Vranks was thinking about a look. Looks very smooth though, does Gregory Vranks out there at the moment. Oh, he's having a little look. Hessel's unmoved and undeterred. Great run though by the Mercedes. This is going to be an overtaking chance, I think, Adam, into turn one.
See what we can do. Belgium versus Britain here, going on into the first corner.
I think Hessel's is Netherlands.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Into the right-hander. At turn 2, now going through turn 3. BMW versus Mercedes here. Something that we'll see in the Formula E Championship next season. And both
Hopley in the pits as well.
Indeed, yeah. Looks like a scheduled stop for the CMR Esports car. And we've got decent cars here in shot. 4 of them as Ranks looks to the inside going into the chicane. Don't know whether he was just faking that.
Yeah, he was. I don't know how much distraction that's going to cause to Jeremy Hessels, though. But again, it's about waiting for that mistake. And it is an hour race. I think some of the driving we saw early on was a little bit rushed and a little bit hurried, whereas, I mean, there's two schools of thought, isn't there? There's one way you sort of think, oh, well, be patient, it's now a long race. As Hopley, I think it's the schedule. Oh! Bloody hell. I've done that before, but I went the other way and it didn't work out very well. I went to the left. Oh dear. Hopley. Just deciding, I think, Adam, no matter what happens, I think I'm just going to keep the foot in it here.
It's like going into the pit lane at Shanghai, isn't it?
Let's have a look at that again. This will be fun and games. He's there somewhere. I don't know if it's out. Oh no, he's
Oh yeah.
Oh dear, this isn't going to be good, is it? Oh my good. Jesus.
I bet you, Steven de Wolf would have just heard that noise in his headphones or whatever, and have just literally heart skipped a beat then.
Probably wondered what the heck it was. Probably wasn't even looking in his mirror at that point because he thought there was absolutely no way that was going to happen. Dear me. Anyway, he's off on his merry way. Did he take damage? He did take some damage to the right hand side, the right rear. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh,
Sounds like a bite out of that.
Nom nom nom. But I mean that is. Oh, look at the left rear as well. Left rear's now looks like it's almost tilted a bit further down, I wonder. Look at that, it looks like it's just... Well, it almost looks like a flat tyre, but obviously it's not. Yeah, the Wolf getting the shock of his life. Is he going to come into the pits? No, he doesn't. He carries on. No stops for him. Hopley, Berger, Science, Verveke. They've all been in. Sergio Souza is, after his crash, has been in the pits for over 6 minutes. We're still seeing the odd smattering of personal best times out there, though, Adam. We're seeing one from Fernando Couto, Ben Taines, Stuart Musselwhite, all with personal best laps.
Shows that the tyres aren't really struggling too much around here. As here is our race leader, who's 5.8 seconds ahead of the rest.
If you look after them in the early going round here, it certainly does help. I mean, it is, in my experience, it is tough to look after tyres at Zolder, but you can. I mean, again, he's got the luxury of the clear air, hasn't he? So he can be as gentle as he likes, really, as long as he keeps a decent pace up, and he's about 3/10 quicker than Macaulay in general.
26.8 for him as well. That's only half a second slower than his personal best, as Danny Macaulay does a 27.7, almost a second slower really. The gap going up to 6.1 seconds on that last lap. But Macaulay in a bit of a world of his own really here, because he's surrounded by gold class drivers, one of which, Javier Garcia, here he is 7 seconds away. And then the next silver rated car isn't until Kobe Glass in 7th place. So Danny Macaulay doing everything he needs to do at the moment. He doesn't really need to go and challenge Van Genexten because they're not in the same championship, and if he stays where he is, he's going to win.
I'd like to have a look at Ruben Van Boel, Ian Roots, because Van Boel has just done his personal best lap of the race. Ian Roots has done 2 personal best sectors, and that battle's really going on hammer and tongs. They're about half a second apart now, which is really, really good after 25 minutes. But by the way, if you are just joining us, no, you're not drunk or inebriated in any way. The timing tower is not in sequence because it's showing class positions.
It's not Fibonacci.
Bronze, silver, and gold. Yes, it's not. It's not anything special. It's just different class positions. Hopefully, that's what this battle will be. Different class. Hopefully, it will be, because Ian Roots, Ruben Van Boel. Will this battle come alive? Not if Van Boel takes a chicane like that, it won't.
Now, Ruben was a bit higher up than this at the start of the race. He lost these positions, really, going through the first 2 corners when he ran into the back of Daniel Macaulay. Trying to get back up to speed again after that. He lost all the places to the 2 Simracersworld cars and Javier Garcia in the VRO car. So he's having to fight back ever since. And as we approach the half-hour mark in this 1 hour race, he hasn't been able to make too much of an impact. Maybe a pit stop window might change that. But here is his teammate and relative, Stijn van Buel. He is currently keeping Gregory Vranks at bay. Vranks, who too has lost 4 positions at the start of the race. These drivers now trying to close in on Kobe Klaas in what is turning into a 4-way scrap for 8th.
Yeah, it's a good battle. Very good battle indeed. Alright, Van Buel, Vranks, Hestels. Hestels now dropped to the back of that group. Gregory Vranks into 10th place, the gold driver, and Van Buel having a look at Chris Moretta. And that's actually given Vranks more of a look in. And here he comes, Adam. He's got a great run. We're going to the hairpin. Might do a Fernando Couto here. No.
Thinks about it. I thought I heard crashing noises and I thought he'd gone straight into the back of it, but no, he's managed to keep his distance there. And this is
straight into the back of it.
He's gone straight into the back of it, yeah. He hasn't though. And he's coming into the final chicane now, and Moretta is quite thankful that Van Buel and Vranks are now starting to engage in this battle, because it means that he can maintain his relatively comfortable gap in front as Van Buel disappears briefly then for a second, but comes back fine. Car number 5. They're going through the right-hander. Don't think Red 5 himself, Nigel Mansell, ever won around here, because Zolder's last F1 race was in 1984. Little interesting thing for you. The race in 1985 had to be moved back because it was held in the summer originally, and the tarmac that they used to surface the track with broke up because of the hot temperatures, and they had to move the event back to later in the year.
It's like the opposite when they moved the British Grand Prix to Silverstone, isn't it? Here's the replay of to April. That's what I meant. Van Boel going through. One mistake by en routes is enough for Van Boel. Now I wonder if he's going to be able to pull away now. Slipstream is not really an issue here. Ben Taines again. What's happened here? Turn 1, Adam.
BMW. Oh, gravel and spins, and I think he's trying to turn the car around. That's how he's going to end up on the other side of the circuit. Well, has a little bit of rub with the Armco barrier there.
I was going to say he did well not to hit anything, and then he turned into the Armco, but yeah, he's moving on. He's still in the race. That's the main thing. With about half distance still to go.
Battle continues.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is a different battle, isn't it? Franks and Van Boel. Sorry, that's Stein Van Boel. And here comes Franks. It's not often you see him move into turn 3.
Such a quick corner, it's very difficult to try and move up the inside there. Looking to the inside there, going into the first chicane. Such an important corner to get a run through, to get a successful run through, otherwise you're going to be really at a disadvantage. Going into the second chicane here as we go through the flat-out left-hand kink, on the brakes into the second one.
It's very hard to surprise anyone, isn't it, when there's not really a sustainable, discernible braking zone, sorry.
Really got to be alongside or almost have your car just edging in front going into that first chicane anyway. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty messy. Over the curbs there, flying goes Jeremy Hessels in the 247 car. There it is, the Dutch flag. 247. Don't know if he races in this BMW 24/7, but we'll see if he can get past here, going for the final corner. Into the pits gone. 27th place at Tim. There's Science again. Second time he's been into the pits. I think he's jumped the pits, which implies that he may have been involved in a crash. Here he goes through the final corner. This is a replay. Runs out wide. Oh, it's not going to hit the tyre barriers. He knows he's going to hit an inside wall, concrete wall. That's going to be race over surely for him. If not, it's going to be a very long time sat in the pit box getting that repaired, I think.
Yeah, that's not going to buff out very easily, is it? It'll be a long trip to it's for him. Chris Moretta is going about his business. He's currently 8th. Oh! Yeah, me. He's currently 6th in class, 8th overall. He's trying to keep Stein Van Boel at bay, but Van Boel's charging through after being another one of the drivers who suffered on the opening couple of laps. He's 5 places down from where he started in 4th position.
The right-hander here at the back end of the circuit. Meanwhile, into the pits comes Thijs Berger, the privateer. Pit lane feeling the yellow cones. You can just see them if you've got very good eyes. They're just on the exit of the right-hander into the pit lane itself, so that's why he's trundling down. Here's a replay. What's going to transpire here? It's going into the pit lane. He's not going to hit the wall going into it, is he? No. Well, there is the yellow cone.
It's not an easy pit lane, I tell you. It's not an easy one to leave either without hitting anything. Done that enough in test sessions.
Meanwhile, yeah, tell me about it.
Oh!
Now that's how you
either that or you get illegal. It's either that or you get illegal pit lane exit. The T's in Garcia scrapping away the mini doctor. I think he's what he calls himself there.
R46, indeed.
Well, is the T's going to perform some precision surgery and trying to get past? I don't know. It was a terrible doctor pun. Maybe doing a thorough examination of that 3rd place. Maybe he does want it.
can tell I'm thinking about one, but yeah, going
Yeah,
into the corner
it's.
chicane.
I mean, I'm going to see a doctor, a competent doctor.
Doctor, this Mercedes is in front of me. Well, why don't you get past him then? Across the line.
I don't even know if it was funny or not. I just laughed anyway. It was good. Garcia though through the first couple of corners. Oh dear, we're going to get inundated with a letter after this, aren't we? Get a carbon disc glowing for Garcia though, even through that through that sort of medium speed turn 2. The teams, we saw him with really good pace, didn't we, last week, and now he's just turning the screw a little bit, isn't he?
Well, he sits third in the championship. Last week was his best result of the season so far at Monza. As for Garcia, it was his best result of the season so far at Monza as well. He got 6 points in round 1, 10 in round 2, 12 at Monza. Go a little bit better here. Looks like 16 is a 3rd place, 12 is 4th, so 4th place last week. He's currently sat in 4th. So no, Garcia's in 3rd, so he's actually on course to go actually one better this week. He'll be hoping for a 2nd place when we go to Bathurst in a week's time.
Yeah, that's going to be a real war of attrition. We spoke to a couple of the drivers last week who said that they weren't really looking forward to Bathurst. It's always a tough one, and I don't blame them either. An hour around that place is enough to test anybody's concentration and just bring the blood pressure up. What's that?
Did you ever go there in the club series?
Yes, I did. I don't remember it going that well, but I don't remember it going that badly either. So I don't know. I think I finished the races, but I do remember hitting a few walls. I think everybody does, but you know me, I always hit more walls than most anyway, so don't need Bathurst to encourage me. It's Moretta still. Oh, look at that! Right in the diffuser almost of him. As Stein Van Buell is on the rampage. You can tell he's getting agitated now, though, can't you? He wants to get past badly because he's starting to weave across the track. He's starting to put himself in Moretta's mirrors, just trying to get in his head. It can work around a place like this, can't it? Because if you lose concentration for half a second, that's you in the arm coat.
Good right-hander.
He went a bit wide there, second part, didn't he? He didn't quite get the run he wanted.
Don't know whether the BMW just understeered as we loads right up again under braking. Something the BMW is good at. Definitely good in the twisty stuff. Just on the exit that the Mercedes of Moretta stretches his legs a bit into the final corner. Thought one of them was going to go into the pit stop for a second. One of the bronze drivers has. Not the best chicane there. Final chicane there by Van Buell. And they go on to lap. What will be for them lap 25. Hessels is still watching. I think that is all it is at the moment, really. Doesn't look like the Dutchman's going to be getting involved unless something kicks off in front of him here in the 247 car, but he is keeping a watching brief as the 3 gold drivers go at it through the opening sector again. Brett will be hoping to go to the land down under with a race victory here.
He's just in, yeah, Hessel's just in touching distance, isn't he, of this group. Just been dropped off it very, very slightly. He's trying his best to stay with him.
So it shows how good these. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. That's nothing else. I was going to say it shows how good these drivers are that consistently.
Oh, twitch! Oh, contact!
Yeah, to the back of him.
And ironically for Van Buell, that's actually helped Moretta, but Moretta goes wide.
Moretta's got 6 tenths of a second. Now here comes Franks up the inside. He's so imposing, isn't it?
It's a big car. It is a big car. If we ever get the Bentley on iRacing, then, you know, look out.
Or the BMW M6.
Oh, well, that won't be able to see anything else. The whole track could just be taken up by it.
I think Sam Fitzpatrick would have a whole load of new material to work with.
He doesn't need much of an excuse, does he?
Josh Thompson inundated him with a letter after his World GT on Monday. Gregory Franks is into the pit, so he's taken a state of execution from that battle, and Simracersworld is now running down the pit lane at a very pedestrian speed, because the pit lane speed limit is on, to come into his box now and get the necessary service that he needs.
But I mean, you know, all Sam has to say to Josh is, you know, you can send me a message. I'm not going to read it.
There you go.
Javier Garcia leads Matthias Titij, and yeah, it's a close battle. I'm impressed with Garcia. Again, you know, he like I say, he didn't look like he was having a great time of it in practice. Fourth overall, though, good solid results. He's actually scored more points in every consecutive race. So 38 points in round 1, 55 points in round 2, 65 points in round 3. And he'll be looking for more points than that in this one. And if he stays where he is, in fact, Adam, he will take 70 points. So he will have done that. Can he stay ahead of Matthias Titij, though? That is the thing.
You can see that they're both they understeered into the just at the exit, the gravel trap there on the exit of the first corner. Didn't do too much in the way of losing time or losing any grip, but this battle's so close.
By the way, the cameras here are terrible. I do have to point out they are rubbish. So we are trying our best to bring you some good footage here. And look at this! Look at him come towards the camera, Titij. Oh, and did the curb just damage the bonnet of the Mercedes?
Not too sure. Definitely caused the VRO car we're on board with here to definitely rev a little bit as he jumps over the curbs.
I thought I saw the Mercedes sort of jump and then come down with a tiny sort of crumpling on the bonnet. I don't know if that was the case or not, but Titij nearly ran into the back of Garcia. Boland off the track, but only slightly.
Definitely damaged the BMW from going over the sausage curbs at Kota once before.
Oh yeah, that can happen.
Titij and Garcia.
Actually, Bathurst, where we're going next week, I once broke the suspension in a Kia going across the curb at the top of the hill. So drivers are going to have to watch for that one.
I broke
go too wide at the top of the Brock skyline.
I broke a suspension on Dirt 4 going over the big curb at Liddon Hill in the WRX.
That's just traditional to end a race at Liddon Hill on your roof because you've hit that stupid curb.
Going to that this year? Well, no, it's not at Liddon Hill, it's at Silverstone. But anyway, here comes Titij.
Oh, and that's he's had another move.
Oh,
it's a late move there by Javier Garcia, and Matthias Titij now. He's on the attack, and all you have to do, though, really, Adam, is do what Javier Garcia has done: place the Mercedes in the middle of the track. The track is so narrow here, nobody's going to risk it.
Putting the car all in the right places at the moment. Titij, don't know whether the frustration might just be starting to build. He hasn't come into the pits yet, so he could probably use that joker to his advantage, see if the strategy can do the work, and either hope that Garcia comes in before him. You can see from the timing screens here that nobody has come in yet. Well, nobody major anyway in the gold and the silver class. Sorry, there is to come for the final corner. Mujdi's come in. You can see from that at the bottom of your screen the 20th place man. It is. Mujdi has come in.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys still haven't come into the pits yet. So, oh no.
Here they go.
Right on cue, Stijn van Boel and Jeremy Hessels making their way into the pits. And Ruben van Boel has just gone off, I think. But it might have just been a...
Did see Garcia had gone off as well on that lap. Doesn't look like they've lost any positions from... Oh, here we go.
Is this
Jeremy Hessels.
Is this another entry issue?
No.
Oh dear. So that what Jeremy Hessels did is precisely what I did in a World Championship qualifying race.
Oh, I remember that.
There was somebody, yeah, there's somebody who was really slow entering the last chicane, and I thought to go left instead of right because I thought he might have been coming into the pit, so I thought he was just dawdling, and I ended up just smashing him off the track.
He's just driven straight to the back of him. Yeah.
But that's what he nearly did, because Hessel's just thought, well, hang on a minute, he's not really moving, so I've got to make a decision on where I go. There's more space on the left, and that's why he lost all that time.
Oh,
and now here's Gregory Franks. Oh, I'm going to look this time on the BMW.
You really have to think about whether it's necessary to make that move, because look at the time he loses. He's lost as a result of just looking up the inside going into that first chicane, nearly the best part of 3/4 of a second.
Yeah, and we've seen that a lot tonight, haven't we? Drivers making a move and then ending up in a worse position to where they started.
Moretta's coming to the pits, just a bit further up the road. He was involved in that battle that we were looking at earlier.
Now, where is he going to come out?
There's 2 gold cars coming into the final chicane now. Moretta.
That's Kuto and that's Kazuya behind him on the track. So we're looking at really 5th and 6th.
Is it Van Buel and Franks that we're looking at?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is this battle.
You can see
where's Moretta?
He is there.
Oh wait.
You can turn the speed limiter off, man. You're past the cones. Oh, something happened.
Can he not turn the limiter off? He can't, can he? Oh, that is a disaster for Moretta if he can't turn the limiter off. Has he managed to do it now? Let's see.
There's a replay.
So he can't. It hasn't gone yet. It hasn't gone yet.
Past the green cones.
Still hasn't gone.
What was that, Sam? Did you say he's got a...
He was still on the limit. Yeah, still on the limiter, basically. And that, as we can hear... And then, I don't know if he's literally had to... I don't know how... Well, he's out! He can't disengage the limiter!
Well,
that is unbelievable! I've not seen that for 4 years!
He's been... He turned it on. He turned it on, okay, he just wasn't able to turn it off.
That is unbelievable. I wonder, that has to be, unless he didn't have it to begin with, unless when he came into the pits he wasn't on the limiter because he didn't have one.
But if he didn't have one, he'd be able to go back up to racing speed, no problem, when he came out of the...
Oh, that's a good point, because what happened to Laidler all those years ago? So Rusty Laidler did the same thing at Spa. Sorry, yeah, I was backing up the wrong tree there, wasn't I? But what happened to him was his teammate came into the pits. They did a driver change, and then when he didn't have a button mapped to get the pit limiter off, so because his teammate had turned the limiter on. But with this one, there's that certainly hasn't happened. What the heck?
Ian Roots, yeah,
unbelievably out of the race.
I don't know if we'll be able to talk to him afterwards. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But
has he managed to tow back? Is he towing? Is he Moretta? Because he might be able to get back out there, just obviously without a limiter. But is the limiter going to still be on when he tries to come out again? If he does, I don't know.
He might have left the session, you know. Because I don't think he's turning back. Anyway, here's Dettige. In 3rd position, Van Buel is now a little bit way behind him, going through the chicane. Has he passed him?
Ian Roots in the pits as well, and he's racing these guys.
Here he is.
So Ian Roots although been in the pits for 45 seconds, Ian Roots.
Ian Roos has just come out of the pits, has just come out of his pit box, I should say. 25.35 seconds stop for him.
He's a long way down in the end, isn't he?
Comparison to everybody else who did 10 and 12 second stops, that is a very long stop. Could potentially be a speeding on entry.
Yeah, that could be right. That could have been the case for Tice Berger as well, who had a 35-second pit stop. Dettige in then from 2nd place on the track.
See how quickly those yellow cones come up.
Oh, Was that somebody spinning at turn 1, was it? I heard... No, it wasn't. I heard tyre squealing.
3 cars in as well. Dertige, Garcia and Class.
Class, yeah. Class is was leading Silver before his pit stop. Is this another entry issue that we've got here? Is this going to be...
Don't know if he gets that. He must like literally ground to a halt, or maybe not.
He might have missed that, Adam. He might have done. Oh, is that going to be a penalty for Cobra Class? I think it might be.
Back out the pits now. There he goes.
It might be okay. Oh, he was almost too fast on exit as well. He almost ran into the barrier, but seems to be okay now. And he's still second in Silver.
Yeah, Van Alphen's right behind him. I don't know whether they followed each other into the pits, so we just emerged ahead of him. Van Exton are leaders.
Yes. Van Alphen, has he been in yet? No, he hasn't, but he's running in a very, very strong 7th.
Very clean car as well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the late pit stop though, Adam, in a race like this, because it does 2 things. One, it prevents you from, especially someone like me with my speed usually in these races, like it prevents me from being lapped, because I don't have to yield to everybody and lose a lot of time. What's that?
Oh, his bump failed.
Well, that's Moretta then. So he turned the limiter on, and then when he pressed the button again, it didn't work. Oh dear. Well, there must have been some. We thought there must have been some explanation for it. Not really seen that one before either.
Nothing can beat a keyboard, I guess.
New button box for him, I think, for the next one. Oh dear. He found it, and then he's still in the lead. And the lead over Dan McCauley has come down slightly. It's 5.8 seconds, but at the moment it's comfortable with 10 minutes ago.
Correct me if I'm wrong, does it say on your timing screen that he was only in his pit box for 11 seconds?
Yeah, that is one of the quickest times. The fastest time so far in the pits was by Ben Mears, 10.1 seconds. But remember, as we're going later on, that the pit stops are going to get a lot shorter because it's just fuel going in. Gregory Vanks has set his personal best lap, 127.2, in his pursuit of Stijn van Boel.
Format like this just reminds me of the IMSA races that we used to do.
Oh, they were great.
Years ago, that or the Blancpain Sprint Series one. Gregory Vanks and Van Buel go at it again. You can see also that Vanks put a personal best on that last 27.2.
It's almost like with Ranks, he closes up to the back of the BMW, simply cannot carry the speed through the faster chicane, but he does have the advantage through the slower chicane, so it's a real interesting dynamic.
I thought he could have been close enough there to maybe go up the inside and a little lock of the brakes as well, for good measure there.
Would have been risky.
Yeah, I think it.
But with 10 minutes to go, is it worth it? Maybe.
I think every corner, every potential overtaking spot on this circuit is a risk. Oh, he hits him.
I think he's hit him.
Oh, I thought he DQ'd him for a second.
I don't know if that's the thing here. I don't actually know if disqualification is a thing here for incidents.
It is. There is an incident limit of 25.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking that nobody's had that many incidents really. Van Genecten, our leaders, only had one off track. So we don't see incidents, we just see off tracks on our overlays. So 1 for Van Genecten, 13 for Macaulay. I hope none of those are 4Xs, otherwise he's going to be quite close to the limit. Van Boel and Franks again. Now, if Franks could just throw the car through this first chicane, a little bit more speed, he might be right on him by the second chicane. He is quick through there. He does have the beating of the BMW through this part. It's that traction of the Mercedes, isn't it, though, Adam, through there, I think, that does him so well.
Looking good this time. But again, it's just how quickly the hairpin comes up, especially in these GT3 cars. If you compare it to what we see on a Thursday night in a Kia, when we used to race around here, it takes a little bit more longer time spans for the hairpin to come up, so can potentially set a car up in front of you.
I remember you mentioned Shanghai earlier on when you're talking about the pit lane. We could do with the straight like that here, just to give the guys a little bit of a chance to get something done.
Maybe, of course, there's another configuration of this circuit on iRacing where the final chicane on the circuit is a bit more free flowing.
Oh, it's a lovely corner, that.
Basically, the original is what the chicane was like originally for.
Was there actually a chicane there, or was it just the straight originally?
In 82 and 84, the two reviews I watched, there was a chicane there, but it was the other one, not the one we've got here.
Oh, lap traffic, that could be crucial. Oh my goodness me, it nearly was, but only because Franks was offline.
It wasn't ideal for both of them there. You could see how Van Buel had to take a different line, and he very nearly lost the front on the X. So there's Pedro Bragança, with the asterisk underneath the C. He's currently sat in 22nd place, 4 positions gained in the Spirit Sim racing car. And in terms of the bronze class, he is 5th in class there, so even though he may have been lapped by some of the gold cars, that's still not too shabby for him, just off the podium.
Yeah, it's a pretty good effort, really. He had a bit of a shocker last week, I think. From memory, anyway. Let's see the points. Only 6 points last race, so this will be much better. Van Buel again trying to stave off Gregory Franks as they vie for that 7th place.
Here's Franks. There he is, as he goes into the right-hander. Missed sponsorship opportunity, I think, for anybody who wants to put anything above those tents. You would have the check there as we go into the chicane again.
Oh, good run this time. He's just not gaining enough. And again, just, showing himself in the mirrors, he's not going to have a go there. So, to me, it's a bit wasted energy, unless he's trying to actually get a better visibility of the corner, maybe. I just think it's a waste, because he's going to sort of, dummying to the inside is only useful when you are actually kind of within striking distance, I think. I think when you're too far behind, it's a little bit, like I say, it's just wasted energy for me. And that's better. If you're that close, stay behind him, get the run, get this move done. If you're Gregory Franks, let's see if he can do it.
5 minutes to go in this one. Let's see if he can get it done.
0.2 of a second, he's gone. He's back. That's not what you need. That is that's the secret weapon of the BMW. It just disappears when you get anywhere near it.
Well, there's the term smoke and mirrors, and this one is vanishing cars. Oh,
he's got a terrific run now. Surely he's gonna. As we see more tents again. What can we? Oh, but again, he's great through that last right-hander, isn't he? Turn 4. He's fantastic through there. He's Van Buel.
That's what's keeping the BMW ahead of the Merc here.
Yeah, it really is, because if he wasn't quite as good, if he wasn't quite as good through there, I think he'd be in a lot of trouble into the chicane. The straight line speed of the Mercedes, but the Mercedes is its advantage is that it's the high gears, isn't it? And I mean, you just don't get the chance to really stretch the legs of that big AMG. He could have done it. I think he could have done it there.
Oh, but Van Buel's wide.
And he has frightened him off the road now. Here we go. And there's no defence into the final chicane. Oh, but there's also not enough power for the Mercedes that time. Good exit though this time. This is the closest he's been, Adam. He's under 1.5 tenths coming over the line.
Is he going to send into the first corner? No, he isn't, unless Van Buel runs wide, which he doesn't. Fantastic job through there. Turn 2.
I think Van Buel's losing his tyres now. He's understeering a lot. Mercedes is on rails. The BMW is on the rocks.
But the tide is coming in. But can Frank get in there? Not into the first chicane, he can't. Look at Van Buel moving as he has to get past that traffic. Could this create something?
If the tide's coming in, is he going to wave at him when he goes by? Who knows? As there's more traffic, and that is a problem.
Wave after wave of pressure here.
He's doing a great job resisting it, though. Stijn van Buel. Good exit there.
Yeah.
This is going to be it. Into the hairpin this time. He has to go for it. He cannot hold back this time. Oh, and he's missed it. Surely, as Van Buel. Well, no, he's turned that into his best hairpin of the contest.
They got on the brakes at probably exactly the same moment, and Van Buel BMW was just able to hold on to it. Can he just keep it in front for another 2 minutes? Pretty
this
sure
is brilliant. Just 2 laps to go for these guys here at Zolder, the DynamiXX Simracersworld Championship.
The way we're describing it, you'd think it'd be a battle for the win. It's 7th and 8th that they're going at here.
We'll take what we can get. As Franks and Van Buel having a duel.
Oh. Pretty cool.
Oh, look at the understeer, Adam, of the BMW, but somehow it manages to nail that right-hander again, that turn 4.
It's definitely his secret power that he's got underneath. That wasn't the best exit there, that must be said for Gregory Franks there. Either that or it was just an exceptional chicane by Stijn van Buel.
But what he might be able to do, Franks, is really get the run on him, use the Mercedes, use the ability that he's got to really get her on. The BMW struggles through there. It really struggles through there. He's got to go for it. And he hasn't again. But Frank, he's terrific on the brakes, Van Buel, into there.
It's those 2 corners, isn't it? The right-hander go before the chicane, and that hairpin there is what's keeping him in this lead. He's only got to hold on for 1 more lap now. When he gets to the line, this is going to be the white flag. Oh, that's not the best
I think it will be the final lap. Yeah, it's going to be very close. Van Genekten is coming through the middle sector. He's not going to he's not going to get there in time. And what a race he's done, Adam. It's gone under the radar slightly, but it was that start that really did it for him, and he's been flawless ever since. The
way the strategy's worked out for him, he's gonna lead every single lap as he comes through the final corner, as comes through the final hairpin.
And this is going to be 4 race wins in a row as well. And who can stop Van Genekten? I'm not sure anybody can, Adam, as he comes through the final chicane.
Here we go then. Been 3 out of 3 going into this one, and he's led from the front, pole position, fastest lap, race win. Race number 4 of the Simracersworld GT Series goes to Van Genekten for Atomic Motorsport. And second will go Daniel McCall.
And we've got Bram van Outven coming across, having won the bronze category, and Dan Macaulay, winning the silver. But we say winning the silver, but he was miles in front of every other silver.
Right, this is it, do or die now. Time for Gregory Franks, so he wants that 7th place.
He ain't close enough this time. And he's not getting him out of the hairpin, because Van Buel is fantastic out of the hairpin. And Stijn van Buel, in the best battle of the race, I think, has done a terrific job. Oh! Oh, has he? Oh, has he done a terrific job? He's made a mess of the last corner. Oh, and he's going to get there, I think. He's going to be close. Oh, he very nearly threw all that hard work away.
Oh. 7th place for Van Buel then. Gregory Franks, despite his best efforts, finishes in 8th place. Here is Bob Boland in the CMR Esports car. He's got Arturo Alonso Alvarez company here going for the final corner. It was BMW v Merc in that other battle. It's Mercedes versus BMW here. It's gold v silver as well. It's going to be Bod ahead of Arturo there.
It was another slightly dodgy race for Boland, but it was a much better finish than last week. Anyway, he didn't score last week at all. But he has done a good job of getting to the finish. If he can just get that good qualifying time, and if he can use it in the race to full effect, then I think use that pace, sorry, to full effect, I think it'll be a challenger. But what a race! That was a terrific one, and I really enjoyed just the strategy element, and I really enjoyed how closely matched everybody was. Yes, there wasn't really any overtaking, but it was still tense, wasn't it? Trying to see if there was going to be one.
Very nearly was one as well.
It was very much like an old F1 race, wasn't it? Like an early 2000s F1 race. Not much overtaking, but you didn't want to look away, because if you did, you'd miss the move.
And that's something that we always say when we see other people on Facebook saying, "Oh, the races were boring back in the 2000s." The strategy element and the way the racing was, just like we saw here today, was why we loved it. And
this is the thing. I love those races, even though they weren't always the most exciting with overtaking. I love the new races where overtaking is a lot easier. It's just, you know, we enjoy racing. That's the main thing. Van Genekten, he definitely enjoyed this one. He won by 31 seconds in his category, at least, over Matthias de Tees, Ruben van Boel in third, Javier Garcia in fourth, Stein van Boel in fifth, Gregory Franks in sixth, Ian Roots in seventh, Bob Boland in eighth, Fernando Couto in ninth, and Chris Moretta had that really unfortunate incident with the pit limiter. I just cannot believe how unlucky that is. And Roland Moons, we saw, I think, was out after possibly a collision with Roy Ververke. That might have been what did it.
Over to the silver. You know what? Take it away.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Yeah. Danny McCauley wins by over half a minute in the end over DynamiXX Racing's Kobe Class. Then it's Jeremy Hessels, Stephen DeWolf in fourth, Andrew Hopley fifth, Stick Arturo Alvarez, and then we've got Ben Mears, Roy Ververke, John McConville, and then cars had issues during the race. Pentains, Alberto Sainz, and Sergio Souza. The Portuguese having a few issues during the race. To the bronze class now.
In bronze class, there's a win for Bram van Outven. Privateer. Wow, somebody sign him up quickly. He's very, very good indeed. Dries Mousdi is second, and Stuart Musselwhite in third, Pedro Braganza in fourth, Luke Thijs in fifth, Thijs Berger in sixth, and then Jochen Lennartz and Israel Marin was out of the race quite early on. So a really, really good race. I just enjoyed it. Like I say, it was just a good race. It was some fun driving to watch, and yeah, I thought it was good.
Could see more of the same at Bathurst next week, except we've got much longer
We'll see a lot more
straights.
crashes at Bathurst. That's a guarantee, because that is not an easy circuit to get to grips with at all. GT3s, they're fast cars, and we saw today that a few of them don't particularly like the bumps, and you know, Bathurst, very up and down, very bumpy circuit. So it's going to be a challenge to set the car up.
Going to be at Bathurst a few times, I think. We've got the warm-up for the actual Bathurst race on Apex Racing TV Saturday night. So yeah, watch that before, or if you're staying up to watch the actual real-life Bathurst 12 hours, you can watch that on our channel first. I'll be along for that one. I think I'm streaming it. And then 2 late nights for me there. I've got look. After the 12 hours on Saturday and then the Super Bowl, I'm actually working for the Super Bowl on Sunday, so...
There you go. Who's your money on for that?
Well, even though I hate them, gonna have to be the Patriots, I think.
Yeah, me too. I don't like them either, but, you know, it's one of their
Come on,
things,
Jared
isn't
Goff. Smash Brady, even though you're not on the same pitch at the same time. Just to smash him in the locker room, I don't know. Let's get some interviews. Throw a deflated ball at him or something. We've got Daniel McCauley, who
smash him like Bill Belichick smashed his tablet over this week. Anyway, that's literally all I've seen of the football this season. I haven't seen much of it, but we do have, like we said, Dan McCauley waiting for the interview, so I will grab him in here. And Dan McCauley does join us in the commentary box. Sorry, Dan, for the lack of warning, mate, but welcome along.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for having me. That was a good race, that one.
Yeah, and we had a lot of fun watching it, and you know, you absolutely dominated your category. And what was it like out there? The BMW obviously suits the track very well.
Oh yeah, it was probably the car for the track, I think. The Mac did have its advantages in some places. I think Yif had a great setup on the car. I was waiting for his tires to drop off, but it never seemed to happen. We had the bit of contact at the start with one of the 7-up BMWs, and that kind of gave us 10-12 seconds of optionals. So that wasn't perfect. Otherwise, I feel like if we'd been closer to Yif at the start, we would have known where he was faster and score a bit more.
Yeah, because you had the pace at the end of the race as well. I mean, I guess he might have been taking it maybe a tiny bit easier, but you did close in and you were putting some good lap times in.
Yeah, I got close to the instant limit though at the end, so I just had to kind of back off a bit. But through the middle stint, I just kind of pushed too hard trying to catch him instead of playing for the long game. And that, you know, kind of felt like the downfall of the race. There was some laps where I pushed too hard into braking zones and lost like a second on the lap. And I think if I accumulated that time over the end, then I probably would have been in a closer position. But it was still a great race to finish second overall and win the silver class by 30-something seconds is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, Eve won his class by 30 seconds, you won yours by 30 seconds. You're repping the CQR club colours, of course. Is there any plans to get anybody else from that team over and into this series? Because it is a good series.
Oh, it's a great series. Ian's came up with this concept of the gold, silver and bronze to mimic real life, and I think it works really, really well. If you look at the point standings in each class, it's really close.
Yeah.
Obviously the entries were closed by the time I got involved with CQR, so hopefully for next season we can maybe enter a team.
Well, I think it's really good. I mean, just them letting the bronze in means even me and Adam could join in. It's got to be a clash for us, Dan. Come on, there's got to be. We've got to join in somehow.
It's a great concept though, because when you look through the races and stuff, someone's having a race for position at all times. It's not like the pro and the AM categories in most leagues are great, but you do have the faster pros and the slower AMs. So I think having the 3-class thing is the perfect way to go.
Yeah, because what you tend to have in, say, a lot of the other series is even the slower pros are still faster than the fastest AMs, so you're still not really getting. You're getting the class battles a little bit, but you're not really getting sort of the inter-class battles. And you look at this leaderboard. I mean, Adam, we can see on there, you know, gold winning, silver second, but then silver got 6th, 9th, 11th, 12th, and then bronze was mixed in, you know, a lot higher up than you would have thought. So I think it works really well.
Yeah, it did. I was a bit skeptical before the series started, but after seeing it in action, it's really, really good. We've got to give credit to Ian and the rest of the admins for, you know, sorting out such a good series.
Yeah, I do think we do, and we did speak to Ian last week, and I do think that, yeah, certainly, it's definitely a great concept, great racing. Who do you want to say a big shout out to, you know, for anybody? Sorry.
The first shout out I've got to give is to Josh. He sat with me all week, you know, preparing the setup, doing some laps, and he sat spotting for me the whole race, and that kind of meant I could go into autopilot and just, you know, focus on trying to catch Chief at the end. He took care of how much fuel and all that I needed, so that was great. Big shout out to CQR, obviously, for, you know, all the help and stuff they give me, not just in this series but World GT as well. You guys for the broadcast, and also just a shout out to Apex in general for supporting the charity race that we've got in a few weeks. I think that's going to be broadcast on here, so that'll be another great event. And also just another thanks.
Yeah, just by the way, just for those people who don't know, can you give some information to the viewers for about what that is?
So last year I lost quite a good friend from the old karting days to suicide, and in honour of him, and also to benefit Beautiful Inside and Out, the mental health charity, we're hosting a 1-hour race at Imola in the GTE class. There's a small entry fee, but that's all going towards charity, and Robbie, who's Alex's dad, has put his hand in his pocket and has offered some great prizes in the form of Demon Tweaks purchases or iRacing credits. So if everyone could get involved in that, it'd be absolutely amazing. Got some big names coming in like Jimmy Broadbent, and we're working on some other streamers, so it should be a great event.
when is that going to be exactly?
There's qualifying on the 24th of February, and then the race is on the 26th.
All right, perfect. Well, definitely that'll be on the channel. We'll try and get some more awareness of that out there as well. It's for a terrific cause. Anybody listening who wants to join in, how can they do that, Dan?
I can stick the link in the YouTube chat just now, or if you it's on the UK and I forum, the general iRacing forum, and there is a Facebook event that's been shared around various pages. I can stick the link in the chat just now.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much, mate, for coming in and telling us about that. Well done on your race today, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks very much. Catch you guys later.
See ya.
And Macaulay there. We've got down in the interview room, we've got Bram van Outven, the winner of the bronze category. I believe he's now come to join us in the interview room. We can see him driving around on the circuit now. Bram, well done on the win today. What was it like out there?
Thank you. The first lap was a little bit carnage, but I could avoid it. I could pick up the pace with the two silver drivers for a lap of 10, and then I had to let them go, but I had a free track, so I had a very good race. Other races I do a very early pit stop, but on Zolder it's not possible because of the shorter lap times. So I drive till I was running out of fuel, did my pit, and again I had a free track. So, one of the better races.
One thing that we had noticed today throughout the field was the difficulty in getting into the pit lane, especially if you had cars in front of you. Did you have much trouble with that when you came in to make your pit stop?
No, I think I was very fuel efficient because I pitted one lap later than most of the other guys. So I have also the pit lane full for myself. No problem.
Next week we go to Bathurst. We think this track's narrow. The walls will be even closer when we go to Australia. How do you think you're going to find that? Is it going to be probably one of the toughest races of the year?
Yeah, but I like the track, but the start is also going to be very difficult because it's not narrow. Maybe starting in the back, but it's very difficult to pass other drivers. We'll see about the tactics.
You were racing today with quite a lot of the silver cars as well. Your fellow bronze racers were a bit down the order. Do you reckon the balance of performance in terms of which class the drivers are in are all right at the moment?
It's difficult to say because on Monday we had a practice and then it was a little bit closer, but I was lucky in the start phase of this race. Some other bronze drivers were in the carnage and were slowly coming back, but the race wasn't long enough for them to catch me.
We were looking at a few of the battles today between Mercedes and BMW, and there were some corners which looked like the BMW was quicker around, and then the Mercedes would really close up on some other parts of the circuit. Did you find that was the case with you at all? Were you battling with any of the BMWs during the race today?
No, I didn't have that case, but this race, most of the BMW drivers are Belgian drivers who are very familiar with the track. Maybe that had something to do with it also. It's their home track.
Oh yeah, so makes sense. Well, yeah, Bram, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
Yeah, I want to thank Jochen Leenaerts because he had the patience in the first lap to let me give the room and not go in every gap that opens. Instead, the other drivers who were lapping everyone in the first lap and caused the carnage. So thank you, Jochen, and to make the series possible.
Yeah, well done. It's I believe your third win of the season to go with your wins at round 1 and last week at Monza. So we'll see if you can make it 3 wins out of 4 when we go to Bathurst next week.
Thank you very much.
All right, so Bram van Outven, thank you very much for joining us in the commentary box. And yeah, a terrific win in the bronze category, Adam, and that is certainly going to help his championship.
Did it well. One at the opening race meeting of the season at Silverstone, and last week at Monza. One here today at Zolder. We'll see when we get to Bathurst next week. We've just got one more interview to go.
Yes, and we will grab Ian Roots out of the interview waiting area. Ian, welcome back to the commentary box, mate. 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, good evening, guys. It's good to hear you again.
Well, it was good to see you out on the track, having some fun out there. Race was going very well. It just seemed to tail off slightly at the end. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, really in control. A really good start. I think I made up 4 places on the start. In control, pacing myself, trying not to wear the fronts out because it's very heavy on fronts at Zolder. And a back marker let the first 4 guys through and pulled out on the racing line before the first chicane in front of me, left me nowhere to go, and I had to hit the sausage. So I went over the sausage curb, bent the steering. Steering was crooked.
Oh,
So I kind of thought, shall I pit? Shall I carry on? So I carried on and realised my lap times were a second off the pace. I let Ruben by. There's no point in me holding him up. So I let him by. And then thought, right, okay, let's just try and be consistent with the steering pointing 20 degrees to the left. I was being caught, got to the pit stop phase, knew I was going to struggle after the pit stop phase, and schoolboy error, didn't untick my tyres, did I?
oh,
So I let the fronts, I changed the fronts and then left the rears as they was. And in actual fact, it benefited me at the end because I was back into the 27s at the end. And pulling away from Stephen, I think, in 11th. But yeah, so it started very well. I couldn't believe my luck, to be fair. And yeah, it all went wrong in the middle section of the race.
that Mercedes is so much bigger than pretty much anything else out there on the track today. That
Yeah.
did it actually help you? Because we saw a couple of Mercedes drivers just plonk the car in the middle of the track and nobody could get past.
Yeah, it is a really big wide car. Mind you, those pesky BMWs, I think they were 3 abreast in front of me in turn 1, I think, and
you wouldn't fit 3 Mercedes. That advice.
You definitely wouldn't, and I understand there was a little bit going on in the background behind me at the back of the pack at the end of towards the end of lap 1.
Oh, there was great. There was all sorts going on. You'll like watching that one back.
Yeah, I know you guys will capture it all, but there's been a few comments flying around as some unsavoury driving, so I'm going to have to look at those tonight or tomorrow night. But I think on the main, I think it was another pretty decent race. I know the front, Dan and Eve at the front, oh my God, how quick were they? They were incredibly quick. And well deserved again on the podium for those 2, and Matthias I think finished 3rd. There was no catching them again, and just a shame I couldn't have stuck with the 5th or the 6th position, which I was on to be, but it wasn't meant to be. Onwards and upwards. Bathurst, one of my favourite tracks, Bathurst. So yeah, I'm hoping for a good result. I had a good result there last season. I think I finished 3rd, 4th there last season. Yeah, love it, obviously, and that includes practice for the 12-hour the following weekend, so yeah, it should be a good week to come. Lots of laps being put in this week, I think, by everybody.
We do see a lot of I'm trying to say, yeah, we do see when people are good at Bathurst, it's really, it really helps them out. It's like at the Nordschleife, we see some drivers at Nordschleife where they're not usually, so quick, but if you're an expert round there, then it really does make up for a lot of things. It's the same with Bathurst, because you really have to be confident and knowing exactly where to place the car at all times.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those tracks. You've probably heard the phrase before, but muscle memory really plays a massive part with Bathurst. Not so much in hours, because obviously it's going to be morning daylight. For the 12-hour the following weekend is starting in the dark. It's an hour of dark, and guess who's doing the dark section? Yes, me. I've been doing plenty of laps, and I'm only about a second off of my daylight time in the dark, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Yeah, it is what it is. Bathurst it's a great if you get a few cars, if you get a few guys that are quick at the front, it can bring some fantastic racing. It really can. I'm really looking forward to it, to be fair. I wasn't looking forward to this one, and it all went my way at the beginning, and then kind of ended up being a bit of a damp squid at the end. But 10th overall, that's always been my goal. I've said it before, 10th overall at the end of the season is my goal. So I finished 10th today, so that's pretty good points.
So you were 13th in the championship, but yeah, it's gonna put you up above a couple of drivers who either weren't here or didn't have particularly great meetings. So I think you might end up in the top. You might end up 6th or 7th actually, after probably 7th after that one. I would say, looking at it anyway.
Yeah,
maybe 8th.
Yeah, I'll say top 10. If I can be in the top 10 going into Bathurst, I'll be pretty pleased with that. There's a few drivers that didn't have the race they were scheduled to have. I know poor old Gregory got a bit mired at the start and ended up getting a bit stuck behind drivers. His home track, I think, only lives 20 minutes. Gregory Franks only lives 20 minutes from Zolder. It's his home track. Always goes very, very well there, and I feel sorry for him, really, to be honest. He didn't have a very good start, and he had the pace to definitely podium there. And give Ethan a run for his money, but it just didn't go his way. Steve Clay's not around tonight either, so yeah, making up positions.
It's one of those, though, isn't it? We were saying all the way through, you know, you've got the starts, the qualifying is important, the start's crucial. You really have to be on the ball here, because overtaking is so difficult. If you just throw places away, like a few drivers did on the first lap, then really, you know, you sort of get what you deserve, don't you? Really, because you're not going to be able to just fight your way back through.
No, that's it. It's so easy to defend at Zolder. It really is. And you know, I had my quickest ever lap of Zolder in the qualifying. I don't know where it came from. I went 0.25 second quicker than I've ever been round Zolder. Hyped up, I suppose. But yeah, very, very good lap. And to qualify 9th, I was expecting 14th. Qualified 9th, and yeah, had a good start. It just didn't go the way I wanted it to go. I've looked at the replay. It wasn't his fault. He thought there was plenty of room, closing speed way too fast, and just blindsided me completely into the chicane. I turned in too early and yeah, hit that damn curb.
Curbs are always the enemy around here, but yeah, you did a pretty good job. Well done again, Ian. If you want to give us some shout outs, then you know, please do, as you're the last one on. So don't forget to turn the lights off when you leave.
Thank you. Yeah, no, just thanks to all the guys. I know there's been a few sickness and a few illnesses. All those drivers that have been ill this week, and all those suffering with lots and lots of snow all over Europe. You know, kind of get well soon, and we'll see you all next week. And obviously, the rest of the admins, they do a great job, and the community in general. It's going from strength to strength, and yeah, just let's move on to Bathurst, put this one behind us, and let's give a good show at Bathurst.
Yeah, very, very good meeting again, though. And thank you very much, Ian, for joining us, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you in Australia.
Yes, thanks, guys. Much appreciated too. You commentary team do a fantastic job. Much appreciated. We'll see you next week.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that. Yeah, Adam. So that's pretty much it from us. But what a terrific race that was. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, these hour races are proving to be pretty good, aren't they? Throughout the whole season, we've had 4 races now, and we'll see what happens when we get to round 5 at Bathurst next week. So make sure you can join us for that. We'll be on air just after 8 PM GMT, 9 PM Central European time if you're watching from the country of Belgium. And make sure you subscribe and give us a like on Apex Racing TV so that you are aware of when we are live, and make sure you check out all the action. So my thanks to Woody, Andrew Woodhouse, for joining me in the commentary box for this one, as always on a Thursday night. And also thanks to Sam Kumo, who's had to deal with the dodgy cameras that we've had here, but he's managed to give us the best of them and dealt with anything that's been going on out of the commentary box as well, in terms of Discord potentially playing up. But yeah, thanks to him, and thanks to everybody here for watching. And yeah, make sure you can join us next week, this time next week, when the DynamiXX Simracersworld GT Series goes down under to Bathurst. We can't wait for it. Hopefully we can see you then. From all of us here, bye for now.